Good morning. Today we're going to start sixth Kungchido class. We're going to talk a little bit about the basic of quantum mechanics, basic of consciousness and subconsciousness theories, and also a little bit about the Tantra I promised last time with the mantra, Yantra, and has defined in many ways. Some people explain differently than others that covers. So we want to just talk about what we need precisely. And some people say it's a set of all the techniques that will help you to connect with the cosmic and apply in the different theories. There are a lot of topics it can cover. But I want to be very precise. The Tantra usually technically it can define in three ways. One is three paths. One is called Kaula, which is the external rituals path. And the second one is called Misra path, that is a fusion of internal and the external parts. And the third one is the most important part, that will connect you with the Brahmanda, is a cosmic energy, via deep meditations, via mantra chanting with certain words, that is called mantra, with the vibrations, deep meditation mantra, and it's also called Yantra, it's called geometrical shape, and it considered as a part of Yantra. So this Tantra, mantra, Yantra will put you to connect the Brahmanda, cosmic energy. So that's why it's called also Sakti. So that is a powerful thing. So this is a little bit about the Tantra. Okay. Now we'll talk today what is the relation between quantum mechanics and the consciousness theory. Both consciousness and the quantum mechanics, still there are a lot of mysteries. It is very, very difficult to understand thoroughly, either biologically or spiritually. So that is how this has been misinterpreted in many ways, because it's fall under consciousness, subconsciousness, under also the philosophy. But quantum mechanics is more difference between science and a philosophy is science, when science cannot explain, directly answer you that we don't know it. It is definite. That's why I like more science. But in a philosophical world, whether you know or you depends on the interpretations. So that's why it is dangerous. If somebody will interpret it indifferently, accept it, then there is a risk. So I always like all of you to open your eyes and be logical, be more scientific, and think before you accept anything from anyone. So that's the whole thing. Okay, let's talk about consciousness. What is consciousness? Consciousness is defined in many ways. Particularly in the spiritual world, I can go back to history of the religions. So if you go back to any religion, starting from Hinduism to all the way to the rest of the religion, awareness has given the prime status. Okay, so everything what we see today, if there is awareness, then it is consciousness. So technically, consciousness is awareness. If biologically, it is defined as like feelings of love, compassion, so that is consciousness. Okay, so there are like a different thinking. So there is also subconsciousness. Okay, it's also called a pre-consciousness. So what is the relations between consciousness and subconsciousness? So subconsciousness is technically the consciousness which is not known, but it can bring to the consciousness. So that is called the subconsciousness. So it is like a little bit hard to understand. In the same way, if we go to study this nature scientifically in the atomic level, that is a quantum mechanics. So as we go with the consciousness and the subconsciousness, same way in the quantum mechanics, we can not limit to the atom level, also it goes beyond subatomic level. So that is more science, and this is more consciousness, is more philosophy. But interesting thing between quantum mechanics and consciousness, both has a lot of mysteries. But very interesting, one of the theory I really, you guys, all of you to encourage to see in YouTube is called a double slit experiment. It's very interesting because how this atomic behavior has an effect on somebody if it will be monitored or watched. It is very interesting, a mysterious theory. Still, nobody can define it. Why atom behaves differently. It is very interesting. They have a double slit. Through that slit, through the diffraction, they're supposed to develop the pattern. Very scientific and systematic pattern, but if it will be observed by somebody else, the pattern will be limited. And it will develop the exact pattern as it's supposed to be developed by the lighting diffraction pattern. It is limited. But as soon as somebody wants to watch, then it will go back in the pattern that's supposed to be. And today's science could not say how. So there is a very interesting phenomenon there. At the same time, consciousness, nobody could define how this consciousness starts. Origin, how it begins, cosmic level to micro level, so, and how it can go beyond with the subconsciousness, how subconsciousness and consciousness can be, relate together. It is all mysterious things, but we don't want to go that deep today. Just we want to know that there is consciousness, subconsciousness, there is the study of nature by science using quantum mechanics to the atomic and subatomic level, but it's summed it, and there are a lot to understand. Okay, that is what I want to put this theory in front of you, so that you know that there is a lot to study, a lot to know about. Now let's go back to Vajrayogini. Is one of the very interesting thing that I found it, and it is widely written. It's first thing, it is the feminine Buddha. When people are really tired of Buddhism and there's something need to be changed, so that's how people believe that it is created by a tantric, female version of Buddha. And if you go back to the modern philosophy, empowerment of women started in our parts of the world long time back, thousands and thousands of years back. So that is interesting. But today, empowerment of women is still new. But in our world, it's been there for long. And the whole point of Vajrayogini, again, the same thing about the different theory, different practices in the different time what have developed. It is need to be incorporated with the Vajrayogini. Okay, Vajrayogini mantra. Vajrayogini Tantric method known to be one of the very classical and old Tantric. And also the dance of Vajrayogini is one of the oldest Tantric dance in the entire world. And the Vajrayogini dances has a lot of elements of martial arts. So that is how I got interested in Vajrayogini's dance. And so it's worthwhile to study more about the Vajrayogini. But ultimate goal of any tantric, whether it is Vajrayogini dance, whether it's strongly, heavily practiced by Tibetan Buddhist, Kala Chakra, or whether it is or Hindu philosophy, or whether it is other philosophies, it doesn't matter. But the bottom line is to get the enlightened and emptiness and the selflessness. So that is the whole point. Okay. Now, still, people will not get convinced what is Tantra, what is Yantra, what is Mantra, what is power behind those Tantra, Yantra, and Mantra. And it's very confusing. So I made a very simple definition of those three things so that everybody will be clear within a minute. Okay? Tantra, technically the way I define is, it is the process. Okay? This is a simple process. It is a set of techniques, set of the things you want to do it, to get energized, to get connected with cosmic energy or whatever. So that is Tantra is the process. And what is Yantra? Yantra is the integral part of Tantra. You want to do those set of techniques and practices, but still you are not confident. So you will chant the things you want. So it's become a mantra. Mantra is inner feelings with the chanting, trusting yourself, telling yourself that I can do it. Just simple example. I want to pass the test. That is the goal. So first you do all the studies. That can be the process. It's a tantra. And you will keep in your mind that I want to be top in that exam. So you start chanting, I can do it. I want to be the best. I want to be top. Not necessarily you have to chant in Sanskrit or anything. You can chant in any words. So that is a mantra. Okay? But Tantra mantra is not enough because you have to have a tools. So those are also mentioned in our ancient theories like a geometrical figures. But here it is book. That is Yantra. Here it is tool you need to achieve and read that book. You have a car, you went to library, so car become part of that Yantra. So it should be now very clear. Tantra, process, mantra, mind, that will be integral part of Tantra, your wishes, and Yantra is all tools you needed. It is devices. Okay? Tantra, mantra, Yantra can be defined so that everything is clear. So if you put those are all together with your set goal, you definitely achieve, and that thing about the Tantra, mantra, Yantra. But if you go in the philosophical, spiritual level, what you want to do is not to achieve and just pass the test. They consider it is very, very small things to achieve. They want globally in the cosmic level, and they want to achieve the emptiness, zero. They want to achieve selflessness. That's why people become monks. To understand and a macro and a micro, just to achieve peace, harmony, selflessness, so that they can give more back to the humanity. So that is their ultimate goal. And in Buddhism, they explain even more and beyond nirvana. So that is all about today's class. Okay? All right. Now finally we'll go back to Kungchido, one of the basic kata that I dedicated for Shaolin Temple and Lumbini, where the Buddha, Gautam Buddha was born, and who put a lot of efforts developing 18 iron hands, and which is considered to be the beginning of martial arts. So dedicating Shaolin Temple, created 5 series of Shaolu's kata. It's called Shaolu 1 through 5. Today we'll go and do Shaolu 1. It's a basic defense and basic attack. But interesting thing is every martial arts school has something with the 4 corners of the 4 directions: east, west, north, south. The Tai Chi Chuan has the same thing, and some other schools. So this is also respecting 4 corners as well as demoing capability in offense and defense. All right, thank you. Us! Shaolu 1. Us! Shaolu 1. All right, thank you. See you in next class.